here tonight at the Echo for the Check Your Ponytail show that is going on tonight. We're here with Ruben for UMO, Unknown Mortal Orchestra. Is that right?
Yeah.
Awesome. So how'd you guys come up with that name?
I don't know. I just
Came in a dream.
I just wanted to have a name for my band where I could imagine like the 15-year-old version of myself wearing like a worn-out black T-shirt with the band name on, and like we'd go to school and feel cool about that.
I know exactly what you mean. Actually, I could totally see it. Right. I envisioned that when I first heard the name. It's a really interesting name. It's intriguing. You kind of don't know what you're gonna hear, I feel like.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think it's a like heavy metal kind of name, but I kind of like that as well.
It's when you include like the quasi-death references.
Yeah.
Immortality, mortality.
Yeah.
Always makes you go to a dark place.
Yeah, I guess mortal is like, is that Spanish for death or something?
Yeah.
It could be that as well.
Yeah, it definitely gets people interested. So how long have you guys been playing? How long have you been together in this project?
We've actually been. It kind of started as a like one of those bands that's just like one guy making records in his basement, But it's been a live band. We've been touring for 2 years, exactly to the day. Like it's a day, 2 years and 1 day, because it was our first show was like opening for Smith Westons in Portland on Valentine's Day.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so I don't know. It's like 2 years of pretty much non-stop touring.
And you mentioned it kind of started as the guy making records in his basement. Is that guy you?
Yeah.
All right. So how did you kind of come up with maybe the sound for the project, and what was your inspiration when you were making music, getting started in your basement?
Well, I was in another band in New Zealand, and we were kind of successful there and stuff, and then I just got sick of it, and I just decided one day that I was going to quit the band and stop doing music and do something totally different, move to Portland and maybe be like a graphic designer or an artist or something. And so I like had this big plan to go and do that, and then I moved to Portland and I started doing a bunch of other stuff. I started working at a film production company and doing all this stuff, and while I was doing it, I decided that I was going to start making music as a hobby, without like having to worry about bandmates and labels and all that stuff, because that was the stuff that I really wanted to get away from.
Yeah, no pressure.
Yeah, just all of the like stuff that isn't music, you have to deal with. And then so I started getting excited, and I thought like, I'll make a psychedelic record, because that's what I was, that's kind of the direction that I was trying to go in my band. And then, yeah, so I just made this music, and then eventually I made, after like messing around and making a bunch of soundscapes and all these kind of weird recordings, I made a song that pretty much was a pop song. So I thought like, maybe I should put this online, and so I did that and made a Bandcamp, put it online, and then I guess it got passed around a bunch of blogs and ended up on Pitchfork, and then labels are interested, and it kind of, I guess this one song went viral, and then I got booking agents. And our first show was I just asked my friend Jake if he wanted to play bass, and we found a drummer, and then we like rehearsed like 8 times or something, and then the first show was like a sold out show at the Doug Fir in Portland, and there were A&R people from London and all this weird stuff. Yeah. And then we've just been on tour ever since. It's like,
oh my gosh, that's crazy. So was it shocking to you to just kind of upload this song and have it gain that much popularity and lead you to your very first show being sold out? Yeah,
it was like a funny video game, because I didn't put any information about myself or anything. So there was this like intrigue about where the song came from, and I guess people didn't believe that it could just be like come from nowhere. They thought it must have been somebody that they'd already heard of, or I don't know, all the questioning was all part of it, I guess. And then I don't know.
Was there no project name or anything attached to the single when you uploaded it?
Yeah, it was Unknown Mortal Orchestra, but it wasn't like there wasn't like my name or where I was from or anything like that. No contact or anything. Yeah.
How funny. Oh my gosh, that story must kill people who've been like trying for years and years and years. It's like, shows you how interesting the internet can be, you know? Like you just upload something and it can take off with relatively little
Well, I was doing that in my other band, you know. I was doing the whole thing of like touring and like trying to figure out how to do it, and then that's why I gave up doing it, because I was like, this is dumb. This like I just want to make I want to make music, but I don't care about all this stuff like labels and press and all of that stuff. So like when I stopped caring and just made music, it's like I kind of accidentally stumbled into everything that I was kind of wanting, you know. So it's kind of weird.
Yeah. You stopped looking for it and it found you.
Yeah.
It's really perfect. Very cool. So you mentioned that you've been playing with your other bandmates for about 2 years now. Yeah. So during that duration, when you took it live and you guys have been playing and everything, what have been some of your highlights, or maybe your kind of your best ideas of playing live with them?
I don't know. It's like there's a couple of things that happen every night. It was just kind of like try to have something special happen at the show, because we have parts of the set where we're allowed to do whatever we want. So like that's so that we can, you know, because when you're driving for 9 hours a day in a van and stuff like that, you want to know that when you get to the show, you don't know exactly what's going to happen, you know, because that helps to keep the whole keep morale high and keep the whole thing exciting. So I don't know. I kind of hope that there needs to be like kind of 3 or 4 like magic moments every night, I think.
The standard 3 to 4 magic moments every night.
Yeah, or just like it's just like if it's not really fun, then it's not worth doing. And I already kind of gave up doing it because I wasn't having fun anymore. Right. So that's like a whole way. Yeah, if everything is like awesome all the time, then it makes it worthwhile. Because there's no easy money in music anymore like there used to be. So it's like, but it's still a dream job, because you can still make a living doing something really fun, you know? So that's the way I think about it. If it's not fun, I can make better money doing a lot of other things. So
graphic design in Portland.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's always that to go back to. So I think you guys had an album that was recently released. What is the name of that album?
It's called 2.
2. Okay.
Yeah. It's the second album.
Very, very fitting. That's perfect. And I think it was released at the beginning of this month. So what has been maybe the feedback thus far, and what are your hopes for this record release?
I don't know. I just wanted to, because one of the things that happened was I was making the first album, and it wasn't really an album in my mind. I was just making songs, and I didn't really think about putting it out or anything. So when all this stuff happened, I decided like, I have enough songs here for an album. I'll just put them all together and figure out which order they go in. And then I thought like, it is an album. So I like put it out as an album, but I still had, I kind of had planned that it was gonna be my permanent hobby. So I had all these songs, all these ideas that I wanted to keep going. So I went out on tour, and I obviously didn't do that. So I went on tour for like a year and a half before I could record again. So I just kind of was finishing the job, really, like finishing the rest of the songs, and then that's why it's called 2, I guess, because it's kind of the second half of the same. Yeah, it's like the second half of this of one like statement, you know. But they're like before touring and making a band changed my life, and like after the first year and a half of that.
Yeah, wow, that's kind of cool. That's like biographical. It's like following your story along the way.
Yeah, I have to do that with stuff so it makes sense. So it makes sense of my life like that.
That's good. I'm sure it's like therapeutic too, to kind of like get out your emotions along the way, like each new segment of your life. Yeah, that's kind of how I do it, I guess. Very cool. So are you guys on tour currently? Is this a show that's on tour?
This is the 3rd night of our American tour, and it's I guess it's the like 8th night of the tour overall. Like we started the tour in Tokyo, and then we went to London, then we went to Belgium, and we went to Amsterdam and Holland, and then
this has
Berlin.
Been an international tour for you.
Yeah, like we did a quick like tour of Europe, and then we're starting this. We do this for 6 weeks Yeah. It's we're third day of a 6-week American tour.
Okay. Nice. And we were kind of chatting about this a little before we got started here, but you were mentioning CYP, the CYP show that's happening tonight, Check Your Ponytail. Some of the guys kind of originated from Portland, which is where you're from.
Okay.
So how do you feel about playing a CYP show tonight?
It's cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it's really nice. It's people like, well, because I don't live here. I've never been to one before, but people are always telling me that Check Your Ponytail is kind of like a party that people they know it's like a good party. Yeah,
it's a good time. They always have really good lineups too, and they're like they pull from such different genres.
Right.
Usually they have a really eclectic lineup, so it's cool. They're definitely good shows to see for sure.
Sweet.
This tour that you're going on currently, do you have any specific hopes for like the feedback of the material that you're playing with your second album that was just released?
Not really. It's just like I just kind of I'm always just surprised that people are so enthusiastic about it. It's kind of been the whole thing the whole time is just making music that I like and not worrying about what anyone's going to think about it, and then people responding to it and being really into it, and then me going like, really? Okay, I'll do some more then.
Surprised every time.
Yeah, it's like because you kind of do some more and you're like, what if I do some more? Is that I don't know. I just keep thinking that keep wondering when the ride's gonna end, and it just it's kind of keeps going. So I'm just gonna ride it out because I'm having a lot of fun. So.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, that's a good outlook for sure. And then, of course, after this 6-week tour, are there any future plans for 2013?
Just touring. We're going we go back to Europe, and like on this tour went so well, and our last tour in Europe, all of the dates sold out. So we're just going straight back to Europe in May, and playing bigger venues, and then we're doing another American tour, because this is the same thing. Like tonight sold out, San Francisco sold out, New York sold out, Chicago, all these, Austin, and all these dates are like selling out. So every single night of the tour so far is sold out. So I think when that happens, like the booking agents go mad, and you get like they book you in the next room up in every city. So it's
you get the upgrade.
Yeah, and then when next time we come back, we have to go back and do it all again in like a bigger rooms, I suppose. Yeah, but that's
really
cool.
Though.
That makes everybody feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And have you had a chance to go back to New Zealand yet?
Yeah, we were there over New Year's, and we played Australia, a bunch of festivals, and played New Zealand. We played open for Weezer in an arena in New Zealand.
Nice.
That's funny.
And then how was that revisiting New Zealand? Was that cool bringing this project back there, kind of
where
you're used to?
Yeah, I used to be scared because my other band was quite important to people over there, so I kind of felt like people were gonna hate me for starting something else, or doing a different band. But it's kind of that. In the first year, it was kind of like that, and then now we came back, and everybody's like, I don't know, this band's kind of proven itself a bit more to be. So I think people I think it stands on its own 2 feet there now.
A more of a respect.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, I think a lot of people are just kind of like come to grips with what makes this band better than my previous band,
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.